Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally getting more information about the Switch 2, and I'm going to start with the most important information y'all probably want to know, which is the release date and the price. So the release date is going to be on June 5 of this year, and the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 without any games is going to be $449, but bundle that with Mario Kart, then it'll be $500, which is not too bad considering the stuff that the console is packing at that price point. Like, it can't even be matched by some of the cheaper alternatives when it comes to handheld consoles like the Steam Deck. This console at this price point is such a good offer that I think some people might just overlook the other options and just stick with the Nintendo Switch 2. So to quickly recap what we already know, you already know we're going to get a bigger screen, a better stand, magnetic joysticks, and even 2 USB-C ports. The new information that we've learned from these trailers is that you'll get a 1080p LCD screen capable of HDR, with up to 120 FPS. Well, it's kind of a bummer that it's not going to get an OLED off the jump, but, the fact that it's capable of 120 FPS is kind of a crazy offering, especially if you own that old-ass Switch that was released back in 2017. Like, this is a definite massive upgrade from that. This also sucks because at the end of the day, Nintendo's probably going to make an OLED version somewhere down the line, so they're going to end up charging you more in the long run. So if you want a fancy screen, you're going to have to pay twice for this console. Yay, Nintendo. And if you're also wondering if the cartridges for this console taste good, well, think again. According to this article, they don't really taste good, which is on purpose because they don't want kids to be tempted to ingest this. Which, okay, makes sense. But if you guys get this video to 100 likes, I'm going to try this firsthand when the console comes out. I'm going to see if it really tastes that bad. And for the love of everything magnificent in this world, please don't make me taste those nasty-ass cartridges. But for science, fuck it, I'll do it. But you gotta get this to 100 likes. Well, anyways, other features that we found out is that you can use the Joy-Cons as a mouse, which I kind of predicted in my other video, kinda. But besides the point, you just slide the mouse in this orientation and even use the motion controls, which might offer some cool gameplay with some friends. Judging from this gameplay, now you can show people that you can be the Stephen Curry of the Nintendo world. They also improved the speakers built into the system, so if you're going to spend a lot of time in handheld mode, it's going to be a little bit more pleasant to do so. And for those wondering what that fancy new button could entail, it's actually a chat functionality, which it's basically Nintendo's version of Discord.
He copied my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
And from the looks of the commercials, it's not going to be the smoothest gameplay out there, but it's going to get the job done. And if you ask me, it's about time that they got an upgrade. Because the last time I used the voice chat from the Nintendo Switch, it wasn't pleasant. Like, I literally had to use an app on my phone just to talk to my friends, since at the time, Switch didn't have any software in the console itself so you can talk to your friends. Now that they've added this feature on the next system, I'm pretty sure Nintendo's going to get a little bit more toxic. They also made this fancy webcam, so you can show your face as you play in order to get some juicy reactions from whatever game you happen to be playing. But other than that, the only reason why I'm excited about this webcam is because it might have a potential to have a built-in streaming mode inside the console. I think the Xbox has one, but the PlayStation already has this built-in streaming feature where if you wanted to dabble into streaming, you really can. All you gotta do is just set it up and maybe buy the webcam, and then everything is done in the console, which is kind of cool. I don't know if Nintendo will do this for the console, but the features are there, so maybe it might be a potential release down the line. Which might be perfect since you might not even need a dedicated microphone, since the console itself has this cool built-in microphone that allegedly has pretty good noise cancelling capabilities. I'm gonna call cap on that because I'm gonna need more proof. I've played with some teammates that seem like they have toasters for microphones, and it's kind of hard to focus when you're trying to clutch up for the team. So if they can make this feature actually be good, and then that's going to be a big W for Nintendo. Another big ass W for Nintendo is that they're going to make it possible for the Switch to play games with resolutions as high as 4K 60 FPS when placed in their new redesigned dock. The dock literally has this fan that helps it cool, so it'll help push those pretty visuals without immediately causing a nuclear meltdown. This is actually something that the original Switch needed in my opinion, because sometimes after I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom for a while, the Switch gets really hot, and I don't know much about tech, but I know for sure that too much heat and electronics don't go well together. So having a fan keep the circulation going might help the console in the long run. The base storage is going to increase to 256 gigabytes compared to the 32 gigs that the original Switch had, which means we can store more games in general, which is a very important upgrade because Nintendo is going to be supporting more of the heavy hitters in gaming, like Elden Ring, Hogwarts Legacy, or even Cyberpunk? Yeah, if they can get Cyberpunk to run on the Switch, then that's going to be crazy because my Steam Deck can handle 720 30 FPS just fine, but if the Switch 2 can get it at 1080p, that would be insane. I'm a little skeptical about this because the game, It's kind of difficult to run, even on like the most extreme setups out there. We'll just have to wait to see until they can actually deliver on this. In terms of new games, there's like a bunch of new games that they're going to release, but the three I care about is the new Mario Kart game, a new Zelda, and Dusk Bloods. Mario Kart World is going to be crazy because like the main selling point of the game for me is that you can freely roam in this game. I don't know about you, but I just like to drive in video games sometimes. You know, in GTA 5, I would take like that long ass drive around the map and just vibe with music. Like, it's something I like to do. And now I can do the same thing here in Mario Kart World. And not to mention the fact that they're gonna have you race from coast to coast. Like, that's kinda sick. It's gonna be like that game that Need for Speed had called The Run. Except now you can choose which direction you want to go instead of just going east to west. There's also this new Zelda game, and it looks like you can play as Zelda and possibly some of her friends from Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I'm still fairly new to this Zelda lore, so having to play as Zelda is gonna be crazy, because I find it strange that the game is called Legend of Zelda, but you play as a guy named Link. I'm sure there's probably a reason for it, but I'm just happy to get another Zelda game to play with. Since the Nintendo Switch has more power, it looks like they're gonna be throwing more enemies at you, which looks pretty cool to see. And now for the game I'm most excited about, which is Dusk Bloods, a game made by From Software. Like, no one knew about this game, and that's what made this announcement so crazy to me. Like, I remember I was still half asleep in my bed, and then I saw the name From Software came up. Like, I had to wake the fuck up to see what the hell was going on. And what I basically saw was Bloodborne 2. It has the same aesthetic as Bloodborne, and it was going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, meaning it's probably going to run at 60 FPS or higher. The only thing I'm not hyped about is the fact that it's focused on multiplayer, but I'll just have to wait to see further details. I hope it's going to be like Gotham Knights or Dead Island, you know, where the game is multiplayer focused, but you have the option to play the entirety solo, which is something I would very much like because I don't have much friends, and if I don't have to interact with people, I'd prefer that. But other than that, I'm still excited because this means PlayStation will realize they're fumbling real hard with all these IPs, and they're going to have to lock in and make Bloodborne 2 or just other stuff, because I'm tired of remasters after remasters. Like, come on, PlayStation. But anyways, let's talk about something more serious, and that caused a lot of people to be basically not excited with the release of this console, which is the new price of some of the games. The price for the new Mario Kart World is going to be $80. I repeat, $80. And not 70 like the other games that are like the standard editions for the latest and greatest games. You're asking for $10 more than the usual price of the newest games. And if you want the physical copy, it can be as high as $90. There's this dude named Bowser who represents Nintendo, and he basically said they're justifying this price because of the amount of content and fun that you're going to have with this game. It's probably going to equate to somewhere about $80. Well, with that logic, then maybe GTA 6 should be like $100 or something, right? Because we all know that game is gonna be on everyone's rotation for years to come. Or that also means Elden Ring should be charging $110 because it offers you a crazy shit ton of weapons, many places to explore, and then bosses upon bosses, so you could continuously play this game for centuries if you wanted to. Like, the reason why I don't like this change in price is because game publishers are going to be thinking it's going to be okay to start charging more for their games because someone already did it, which is going to cause this drastic shift in prices for video games, and I'm not going to have any more money to buy any of them. You know what's crazy? Some of these games on launch aren't even perfect. Like, they're half-baked even. So if they think I'm going to pay $80 for a game, they're out of their damn minds, because I'm still traumatized with the broken state that these games have been coming in lately. You know, this whole ordeal is giving me flashbacks to like 2020 again, when all these game publishers were basically playing a game, cat and mouse, to see who's going to be the first person to price the new games of the next gen consoles. And the first game that ever changed the gaming landscape was NBA 2K21. They were like, oh, let's charge $70 for the new games coming out for this new generation. They'll definitely buy this shit. And from then on, that was the norm. Every game was $70 from then on. And the fact that Nintendo is trying to pull the same gimmick again, it's kind of crazy because it's gonna work. Like, Nintendo knows they got some motion, so people will buy Nintendo products. And I'm probably gonna be one of them. I'm gonna contribute to the problem because I love Nintendo games. But the problem is their corporation is just so greedy. They like money. They just want to squeeze every little dime out of you. Like, they're even charging you for that intro demo that will help you get accustomed to the new features of the console. Like, they're down to charge you like $10 for this demo that you'll use once. And in my opinion, that's just straight stingy as fuck. Like, you know, PlayStation has a similar game, right? And they released it for free. It's called Astrobot. Every PlayStation has this for free. And it gives you a great demo of everything. Oh, and did I forget to mention it's free? Like, it's free. It should be free, Nintendo. Come on. Okay, but other than that, I have unfortunate news for people who live in the US. since my boy Trump dropped his diss track called The Tariffs a few weeks ago, the rest of the world can still pre-order on that date, but the US won't be able to do that. Instead, we're gonna have to watch everyone else pre-order their consoles, which is kinda upsetting. Well, regardless of that delay for pre-orders, you can still get the first batch of invitations in May 8th. But there are just some requirements you gotta do and it's kinda whack, but for those loyal Nintendo fans out there, you're gonna get first dibs for sure. But overall, if Nintendo didn't just ruin the whole announcement with the crazy price hikes and bad corporate decisions, this was a pretty solid announcement. I'm hoping the prices stay the same with all the instability occurring around the world. But honestly, we'll just have to wait and see. For you guys that watched the video this long, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Tell me what you think about the whole Nintendo announcement. And yeah, just let me know. I want to hear from you guys. But anyways, if you guys liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, and then I'll see you guys on the next one.